Hi everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I thought I would do just a little sit down and color with me as sort of an introduction to me, to who I am, what I do, I don't know, just coloring and chatting for a little bit, because that's what folks do on this channel, on this YouTube. So I thought that would be fun. I'm going to try to do this without doing a million takes and edits, so if I flub up, I say something silly, I correct myself, all of that good stuff. This is just basically like being live on TikTok or something, except I'm filming it and, won't be editing it or whatever. So I am, just to get this out of the way, I am coloring in Lulu Mayo's A Million Cute Animals. And I'm using Arteza pencils because they are some of my favorite, and they are one of the only pencils that I've found that work well in her books without much hassle. I talked about this before when I did my Lulu Mayo collection video, and I'm letting the cat out of the room. There we go. I talked about finding good pencils that work in her books because the paper in these books are a mystery to me. So it's kind of, haven't gotten any feedback yet, but I'm hoping somebody drops some feedback, and feel free to drop it on this video too if you have a suggestion for pencils that work well in Lulu Mayo books, because it can be a struggle. These work pretty well, so I'll probably stick with the Artezas until they, till they're all worn down to little nubs of nothing, which with these pencils won't take too long because I use them quite a bit in quite a bit of my books. They're some of my favorite not budget pencils, but I guess you could call them budget pencils. They're not terribly expensive. I think the 72 set's like $25, $20. I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but so I just thought I would sit for a little while and color. And I'm just kind of moving around, trying to keep myself in frame because it's the whole point, right? And I guess the other point too is to introduce myself. So hi. Coloring is my biggest hobby. Not my only hobby, but it is my hobby that holds my focus the most right now. It is my, as we call it, hyper-focus hobby. And I have been hyper-focusing on it for a while now. I did coloring and YouTube and Instagram and the whole 9 yards a couple of years ago. And it was a good time. I fell sort of out of it. Changed a lot as a person since then, in lots of ways. Some of which are not going to explain on this video, but I've changed, lots of things have changed. So I decided to come back to it because I like making videos. I like talking about coloring. I like talking about coloring books. I like talking to people about coloring books, watching videos. I love watching people's finished page. I think it's my favorite video format on YouTube is when people show their finished pages. I love that so much. I may or may not do that for September. I date my pages, but I haven't been flagging them with any sort of like posty flags to do a video with. I may end up going back. I keep a list. I have a notebook, which I should have brought with me to show you guys. I have a cute little notebook that I keep track of pages that I've colored every month. And I just usually put the date and then whatever the page was. Or whatever the book was, I mean. So, when I finish this one, it'll be like today's date, which is the 20th. I'll put 9/20, A Million Cute Animals. But I might, for the sake of making a video, go back and find some of the stuff that I finished this month, because I will tell you that I have been on a roll with finishing pictures. I think I'm up to 40 something at this point, and it's only the 20th, so I am almost beat last month. I think last month I had 45 pictures. So, and I will say that some of my favorite things to color are flowers. Probably why I picked this picture, because there's lots of flowers. So you know Johanna Basford is one of my favorite artists. Kirby is also one of my favorite artists. Kirby and Johanna, those are the two that I will purchase a book of theirs when it comes out. Generally without, like, second thought. Unless it's something I really don't see myself coloring, I will definitely pick up the books. Ooh, I'm sorry, I just kicked my tripod and I didn't mean to. There's a beautiful breeze out today, and the door keeps blowing open and closed. So it's like, oh dear. So let's see. Besides coloring, I also am very into diamond painting and crochet. Two things that I do intermittently with coloring, but I will say this just dominates my life right now. I am working on some diamond painting. I might do a diamond painting video, just a chat and diamond paint video. I have a project that I'm working on for a Christmas gift for my mother-in-law. It's a really pretty lion, and it's all bright rainbow colors, and it's on an actual canvas. So I don't have to worry about framing it or anything. I just worry about sealing it, and it comes with the hardware that you can attach to be able to hang it up on the wall. So I thought that was really cool. And I'm having a good time with it. I'm figuring about 3/4 of the way done at this point. So it's going pretty quick. It's not very big. And then I got one for my mom. My mom's favorite color is purple, and she likes gnomes. So I found a really cute kit on Amazon. It's like a 12 by 12 of a gnome. And it's all purple, like the scene that the gnome is in with like flowers and stuff. Everything is purple. The gnome is dressed in purple. It's very purple. So she's going to like that a lot. That's going to be her Christmas. I have been coloring for a long time. I started coloring in the early 2000s, when, you know, you got your Dover Publications coloring books at the art store. And then the adult coloring books started coming on the scene. I went to the art store with my roommate, and I bought a coloring book and some pencils. And I was enjoying it so much that she decided to get me a Johanna Basford book, I believe Enchanted Forest, for me for Christmas. And that's it. That's where it started. That's the rest is history sort of situation. She got me that book, and I just lost my little mind and had such a good time, and then it just never stopped. So the love is still there. The love wanes, you know. Like I said, it's a hyper-focused hobby situation. You know, it's always there. The interest is never really going to go away. It's just, you know, it comes back and forth. But I decided to get back into making videos again, sharing my love. You know, even if 1 or 2 people see this, it's kind of cool, because it's 1 or 2 people that said, hey, this guy's into coloring. Let's see what he's all about. I will say I am not super big on marker coloring. I do have some alcohol markers. I have some like water-based markers, you know, like Sharpie, Bic Intensity. I used to have Crayola Super Tips, but I think I donated those before we moved this in July. I ended up donating a lot of my coloring supplies and my coloring books. I had 3 Rubbermaid tubs of coloring books before we moved, and I narrowed it down to 1. So I'm very proud of myself. But I did donate a lot of books. I donated a lot of pencils and markers that I knew I wasn't going to use, or that and I tested some of the markers because some of them may have dried out from not using them for so long. So I am not super big on I don't do a lot of blending. I do shading and outlining and things sometimes when I feel like it, but generally this is how I color, just like this. Just throw color on the page. It makes me happy. Boom, dopamine. This is my dopamine hit right here. I have a lot of Johanna's books, a lot of them. Although I saw on her Instagram her do like a quick little flip of Wonderful Wildflowers, and I'm so excited for that book. I actually have plans. I recently picked up some watercolor pencils, the Goldfaber Aqua, and I'm really excited because my plan is to get 2 copies of Wonderful Wildflowers. One I'm just going to do with pencils, but the other one I'm going to do straight watercolor pencils. And, maybe use my Neo colors for, doing like fancy backgrounds and things. So I'm very excited about that. I know Kirby's got a book coming out in October, which is the 10th anniversary book. Very excited about that. I was thinking about it after I picked out this page, because these books were in the room where I film after making my last video. And so I just went with these instead of going and getting a different book, but I should have gotten Dark Fairy Tales and worked on something in that while I sat and talked to you guys. But that is probably my favorite Kirby book thus far. It is incredibly amazing. I'm so excited to see what else he's going to do now, because his art has shifted quite a bit. If you've, have some of his older books, been around when he was doing his older stuff, then sliding into what he's been doing lately, it's such a great shift to see. It's very exciting. Going back to me, I am married. My spouse and I have been together for 10 years, married for 7 as of July of this year. We don't have any kids. We have 1 cat. He is more than enough of a toddler for our liking. Thank you very kindly. If you walk into our apartment, it's like walking into the apartment of someone that has kids. There's toys all over the floor. He doesn't need 17 toy mice, but anyway, he has at least 17 toy mice. He is 10, so he's getting up there in years, but I promise you he has got the energy and the playfulness of a kitten, and it's fantastic. Usually when I color, I'm watching TV with the spouse. We like to watch YouTube Let's Play videos. We're big Markiplier fans. We like to watch TV shows. Right now we're rewatching for the umpteenth time the Marvel Punisher series, which we like quite a bit. We watch movies sometimes. A lot of times I color and just listen to music on my headphones. I really like doing that. I just have to have some kind of sound going when I'm coloring. I can't just color in silence. It doesn't do much for me, so. And I always make a joke when it comes to coloring. I always show this pencil and I say, tell me you're a Johanna Basford fan without telling me you're a Johanna Basford fan. If you get the joke, please give this video a thumbs up. A lot of my green pencils and all of my pencil sets, not just this set, are very tiny. Getting tinier. I'm very glad that I have pencil extenders because I use them for mostly the green pencils, to be honest. I am a big fan of Lulu Mayo. I have, there's actually a video. The last video I did was I went through my collection of Lulu Mayo books. I'm also a big fan of Hannah Carlson. I have quite a few of her books too. My favorite pencils are probably the Polychromos. are my favorite. Second is Black Widow. I really like my Black Widow pencils. Prismacolors are up there. I'm using more of my Prismas lately. I don't have the full set yet. I purchased the sets that they had come out with that were specifically themed sets, like, I don't remember what they were called. It was like springtime or wildflowers, and so it was like not a full set, but it was like sort of a themed set with certain colors. Well, I put them all together and I realized I had doubles, triples of a lot of colors, and I pulled all those out and I put all them in a case, and all my data lovers out there would love, I made a spreadsheet of all the pencils I have. And I've been going to the local art store and buying them open stock and filling them up. I'm at 94 at this point. I may have gotten everything that's open stock at that store. I may have to go online to Blick and see if I can't round out my set. I'm kind of a full set kind of guy, so not having the full set of Prismacolors is driving me slightly batty, but I'll make it. I'll live. I'm also very fond of the Arteza pencils. I really love the Black Widows, though. Those are really some of my favorites. All of these objects behind this bow are very strange. Like, I know this is a leaf, and these are leaves, and that's flower petals. I think that's a flower. I'm just trying to figure that part out. I do like, to an extent, I do like the current fun trend of the cozy cute books are kind of nice. I've seen some really interesting ones. I have a couple. When I looked up, because I hadn't really looked around the coloring community in a while, and I kind of dove in and tried to figure out what folks were doing, and I was like, oh, well, these books are cute, so I bought a couple. I have like 3, some of which I bought before I knew about the CocoWow situation, so that being said, I won't be purchasing any more books from CocoWow, but I do have a couple of the cozy books. I think the favorite book I have is called Cat Moments. That book is really fun. I'd like to try to finish that one soonish. I picked a green that does not go well with the other greens, but you know what? We're going to roll with it because nature is funky like that with lots of greens. Let's see. I haven't done these in a while. Usually when I was on TikTok, but I walked away from TikTok for reasons, but I would just get on lives and just color and talk. So I'm kind of trying to do that here, but make it a little more coherent since it is like an actual video. So if there's pauses, it's just me trying to work off the cuff here and think about what to say and talk about. Because I know I'm going to like title this an introduction. So, this is just me introducing you to myself, my voice, what I'm into. Because, I'll be making more videos as it goes. It's like riding a bike. I'm getting back into the creation saddle. Trying to remember how all this goes. Trying to remember to make thumbnails. And I don't know if I'm going to have like an intro music card or anything again. I probably won't go that deep. But I'd like to be able to do lives on YouTube. I am not quite at the subscriber count yet. So if you've popped into this video and you've made it this far and you're still hanging out and you haven't subscribed, it's free. There's no obligation. You don't have to watch my videos. Just, I put them out irregularly. I do not currently have a filming schedule. That might change just with how life is, and maybe I should make one because work will be crazy and I want to make sure I'm, keeping fun videos flowing. I have a lot I could talk about. I could I was thinking about doing my Johanna Basford collection and going through and, like, bookmarking some pages that I really liked how they turned out. Pages that I did way back in the day. Because I do date my pages. So I like that because, like, with this book, I was flipping through trying to find a page, and I was like, oh, I did this page in 2021. Oh, I did this page in 2023. It was, I love seeing that. I think, too, I like seeing the progression of how I color, and not so much the techniques, but maybe my color choices, how I decided to do certain flowers and certain leaves. I like Lulu Mayo's books because I don't feel like I have to be necessarily realistic. Yes, I know, I'm coloring the leaves green, and I'm coloring the flowers flower colors, but I could make these cats purple. I could make them pink or yellow. I could do whatever I want. There's just, I don't know, there's like an aura of whimsy to her books that make me just kind of throw my realism out the window. And I generally like to do that too. You'll see that when I do my finished flip of World of Flowers, because I will be finishing that by the time her new book comes out in November. I had a lot of fun doing pages purposely not in green. Pages that, these are obviously leaves, but I was like, nope, my green pencils are staying out of this game. Instead, I'm going to color the leaves this color. So I had a really good time with it. I think that's my favorite thing about coloring, is being able to just put color down on the page in whatever way makes you happy. And I say this all the time. People say, oh, do you have advice for people just starting out? I have lots of advice for people just starting out, actually. Hold on, let me put on my advice glasses. There is no wrong or right way to do this. There are people out in the coloring community that create literal works of art with these pages. They have blending and shading and highlights, and they do backgrounds, and they do tons of extras, and it's beautiful. And then there's people like me that just put the color down on the paper like this, and it's beautiful. Everything is beautiful. The fact that you're doing it is beautiful. There's no wrong or right way to do it. My other thing too is, and I feel like this is really important lately, is you do not have to drop a lot of money to get started in this hobby. And I suggest not dropping a lot of money to get started in this hobby. If you want to start with pencils, there are so many pencil brands out there that don't cost an arm and a leg. You can get a decent set of 72 pencils for $20. Like, the coloring books that are really popular right now aren't very expensive either. You can get an inexpensive coloring book and start there. You don't have to get 320 markers when you first start. Get a small set. Get like a 48 set. Play with that for a while. And then, if you like it, then start building your collection. And that's, the collection of pencils that I have is an over the years collection. The books I have is an over the years collection of books. Some of these books I've had since the very beginning of me coloring, But you do not have to break the bank to start this hobby. And I recommend not breaking the bank. Because you can always add to your collection. And I would hate to see somebody, buy 12 cozy coloring books and 320 Ohuhu markers, do it for a week, and then go, I don't like this anymore. And they just spent so much money for no reason. So, that's my big advice, is don't break the bank. It's a very inexpensive startup hobby, to be honest. It's just when you start wanting to experiment with trying all of the colored pencils on the market. I don't know anyone with that problem. Or you want to make sure you have all the markers, especially because, the markers don't last a long time. They dry up, they dry out, you use them up, especially, if you're doing a lot of skin tones and a lot of, like you're using a lot of greens and blues, those are going to go quick. So, you're going to replace them. Just start small. The biggest thing is to start small. And then you'll amass a great collection and it'll be fantastic and one of the best things you've done. Because this is, for me, a really important hobby. This is a self-regulating hobby for me. This helps me concentrate on my job. It helps me it's very soothing and very comforting, and it's fun is my thing. This is how I get to be creative. I write as well, some collaborative writing with other folks online, and that's something that I have a really good time with too. But this is like my main creative outlet. Let's see what else. I don't have like a super fancy writing set or coloring set up. I have a nice table that somebody actually purchased for me off my wish list a long, long time ago. Many, many moons ago. And I have that, and that's where I color. I have a clip-on OttLite that is powered by USB that is clipped to the top of the table, and then the light shines from this side, so it doesn't go overhead, because if you do overhead with lighting, you're going to get shadows with your hand and you won't be able to see. But if you do it to the side and have it, like if I'm right-handed, so I have the OttLite shining in from the left. It's perfect. It's good on my old eyes. And then I have a coloring cart where I have all my pencils and some books. And then I have, behind me, I have a bookshelf with all of my books stacked on it. At one point, I had all of my books done in alphabetical order by artist. And my spouse was beautiful enough to make... Oh, this one doesn't have it because it's a new one. Do none of my... Yeah, they do. Oh. My spouse took the label maker and labeled all of my books that have, by the author's last initial, like initials of their last name. So at one point when I had all of my books up on a shelf, they were alphabetized by last name. Right now, the way they're stacked, it's a little bit harder. I'm just trying to keep the particular artists' collections together that I have a large majority of. So, I have my pile of Johanna books, I have my pile of Kirby books, my pile of Hannah books. I also like the Pop Manga series by Camilla de Erico. Those are some of my favorite books. And I do buddy colors. So if I have a book that's like, if I'm showing off my collection and you see a book and go, oh, I have that book, I would like to buddy color, throw me a comment. I'm on Instagram now. I wasn't planning on doing Instagram, but it is the easiest way to communicate with folks that make YouTube videos to do buddy colors, so I threw myself over there. I've posted a couple things, I've posted some reels, but that's like an easy way to get in touch with me. I will put my Instagram handle in the description of this video in case you want to follow me there. That'd be really awesome. But I really like doing buddy colors, so I'm very much okay with buddy coloring with people. I do have books that go like range from everywhere to super cute like this to body horror books from the manga artist Junji Ito. So yeah, I go kind of all across the board with my coloring. I like to do it all. And I like that because some days I just want to do this, where I color flowers. Some days I want to color a scary picture. Some days I want to color something very intricate and, you know, intense. What I don't have, and I just realized I may have to fix this, is I don't have any mandala coloring books. I did. I think I donated a lot of them, but I think I might want to get one or two just to have as a... I want to experiment with colors and putting colors together and just doing something simple and mindless, like while watching TV or something. So I might have to maybe splurge for a Jade Summer book. Camellia Angel Cova had mandala books too. I don't know. If you guys have one that you would recommend me getting, drop the name down in the comments. I had this really cool Jade Summer Patterns book that I absolutely loved coloring in, especially with my markers. Because they were single-sided black backgrounds, so I could like take my water-based markers and just go to town and have a great time. So yeah, I just wanted to come on, make a little video, color a little bit on camera, and just kind of introduce myself. I'll probably do another video in the next couple of days, maybe go through another collection of books of mine. Maybe I'll bust out my Johanna books. Tonight I'll go through and mark pages that I would like to show that I've finished. I might do Kirby next because he's a little bit smaller of a collection, but we'll see. But I think I'm going to do that. I'd like to go through and just, you know, show you. There won't be too many hauls for a little while because I have all the pencils I need. I have more than enough books to color. I'm trying. I have, there's a video of me where I talk about, I have 4 books that I have on a finish project list of books that I would like to finish this year. So, and I plan on doing that next year too, where I pick a couple books. And I'm going to keep a tracker in my journal of the pages I finish and how many I have left till the book is done. So that is a goal. I would like to put one of Lulu Mayo's books on that list next year. And plus I'm using the finishing a book as a reward to purchase other books. So it's one of those, I should finish one before I buy another. It makes sense. So that's kind of where I'm headed with that too. So I think I'm going to leave this here. I had a really fun time hanging out with you guys. If you made it this far to the end of the video, thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you had a good time and you want more coloring content with my voice in it, go ahead and feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.